This Atlanta's winning 15-6.
How about this? Ezekiel Elliott still not reported.
Catching your head
There's Melvin Gordon.
We've got a lot to talk about. So a lot has happened in the last couple of days that I have not tweeted about.
Oh, don't worry. The Pirates will be in there. This is for the best for them. Trust me. They got insanely lucky throughout June. Oh, by the way, the Cubs blew another lead. Congratulations.
Yeah, shocker.
Let me guess who it was. It was Steve Cishek this time.
Oh, yeah, that guy's
Well, who was our starter tonight?
John Lester.
Sound good to you?
7 innings, no runs.
You guys can hear all right? That's not like too loud
7,
in
no
your
runs.
face.
They blew it in the 8th.
This is far
Good
better
fucking
than
job.
normal streams.
Wait. When the Cubs get Derek Hall,
we have to fly to
when the hell do
Canada
the
to
Cubs
have
get
less
Derek Hall?
technical difficulties than.
Cubs got
Yeah, I didn't realize that.
Good, eh?
Oh, they designated him for assignment and the Cubs claimed him.
I wish we could have live
I don't
streamed
know, it's
this,
like, how the
but
hell did they get Derek Hall?
I'm about to say the Cubs haven't done
We do have a
shit for
subreddit, we do
trades.
have a Discord. Go look at it.
Well, they got Martin Maldonado because panic.
Well,
Oh, the Reds won, Joe.
Yeah, they did win. 3-1.
there you go.
Well, now we're 2 games behind the Reds.
Went in just in time to blow their prospects on somebody like Blackman.
oh, we're gonna talk about the trade deadline.
Oh, don't worry.
Martinez was another one I
And
heard
Theo
today.
Riddick is gone from the Lions.
Oh yeah, they cut him. I knew about that. A lot of sources.
Somebody got cut from the Cardinals today, too.
Was it Kim Diche?
Yeah.
Oh,
He was out of shape.
David
Yep.
Riddick signed a 2-year deal worth $5.5 million.
Wow,
Winnick?
with who?
Riddick, David Riddick.
Oh, David Riddick. I thought you meant
Yeah, the
Winnick.
one who's for instance.
Oh, Riddick for the Flames, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Gosh, we got
Diche
hockey news happening here.
And Matthew Tanaka's 12th year becomes the second most by Yankee pitcher in history.
He's been getting blown up pretty bad.
Worse than Utah.
We're in Canada, man. What'd you expect?
Yeah.
I'm still trying to figure out how they ended up here in the first place. Did SeatGeek sponsor this excursion?
No, that was this lady right here in the Eagles jersey.
Yeah.
That's the reason why we're all here.
We're all here.
What's up, boys?
What's going on?
What up?
Come on down. Come on down. You're the next contestant on the dumpster fire.
What'd you say? Literal dumpster fire.
You have an actual Cleveland fan
Oh
here.
boy.
You poor bastard.
Wow.
Which one?
Hi.
Oh.
It's nice to see you.
Uh-oh.
I'm glad Roman Chapman is not on your team anymore. I'm sure you're glad of that.
Oh, boy. This is already starting great. All right.
Welcome to the dumpster fire.
Do you want to hit that?
I'll be back with some
Oh,
cups. Yeah, man.
You want to hit the beginning? We'll get started.
There we go.
Had to change it up a little bit.
Woo!
What up, boys?
What's up, everybody?
Ladies here. I'm shocked.
Welcome to the first ever live dumpster fire where we're actually here in person, not
I know, we're not.
complaining about technical difficulties in my basement.
It's because I'm in my damn basement. I'm sorry.
Did you bring your phone charger for?
No, I didn't. I have
your
my
battery,
computer
your
charger.
laptop. There you
Yeah,
go.
it's in the system. We're good. It's not going to die in an hour. Although, fortunately, you have a backup. So
You know what's funny is we've been doing this show for about 2 years, and there's never been a show where we haven't fucked up in some
that's
amazing
why we call
way.
it the dumpster
Yeah.
fire.
Y'all are doing
Like,
great. Thank you very
You know,
much.
if you guys watch the actual stream,
I'll move the mic up.
there are so many times of panic, like right before we're supposed to go on the air, and we're just like, do you know that my computer needs to restart for the next half hour? Can you run the board? Like we're sitting here testing each other, like, hey, dude, I need you to run the board.
And it's like 9:10. It's like, where's the? Why are we so?
I'll tell you, the viewers are so patient and amazing that they would even stick around for us to do that shit. So I can't tell you how much I appreciate everyone that's here, and let's get the show started. All right.
Much kudos to you boys coming in. So I appreciate it.
So we do have an agenda tonight.
We're shocked. I know we
worked
have an agenda.
on this over lunch at George Hamilton, a
You're not gonna need it.
famous tanner.
Are you you're not going to need the projector, are you?
I don't think
we're
we
not
need the
gonna need the
projector at all. You can go. You can just turn it off. Don't have to waste the bulb. All right.
There we go.
So we worked out an agenda today. We're going to talk a little bit of NFL. I'm sure you guys are excited to see a lot of football jerseys here. We're going to talk some baseball stuff. There's so much stuff the NHL season or the NFL season hasn't even started. We've only had a couple days of camp, and there's already shit going down to talk about, which I'm loving. Tons of shit, tons of salt already as a Giants fan. And then we got baseball stuffs, and then we'll take your questions from the audience. And if you want, did you get that kind of got recorded at the last
So
what we'll do is you can come up here and just ask us questions.
There's a mic stand right there. Come up there.
Yeah, there's a mic stand there. It'll be the first ever like in-person Snapchat or super chat
Snapchat
that we've
Yeah.
never had. And then if you want to donate 100% of any revenue that we make tonight is going to Alzheimer's awareness, the Alzheimer's Association. So as you know, my dad is in early onset dementia, and so that's the cause that is closest to me. It's definitely a sobering experience to go through this. So, but rather than take the whole mood of the stream down, let's go ahead and get started. So, training camp is open, and wouldn't it be great, Steve? Tree.
Well, it kind of like got blown by that Post-Gazette article, so whatever.
Yeah. Wouldn't it be great to arrive in training camp in a fucking hot air balloon like Antonio Brown did?
Right.
Is that the most Antonio Brown thing to do? Is to arrive at Oakland Raiders training camp in a hot air balloon?
No, it's Mr. Big Chest, remember?
That's right, Mr. Big Chest.
It doesn't make sense. It would need more of a hot air balloon. It's like, the chest is full of hot air. Is that it? Could be.
Yeah.
Is your mic working?
Yeah, I think it is.
Okay.
Yeah, it's working.
Just make sure it's plugged in
Yeah, we're
at the
good.
bottom.
What you got?
And,
Don't worry, I will soon.
So he shows up in the most, I wouldn't say ironic, I would just say fitting way possible in a vessel that is completely fueled by what he is great at dishing out, which is hot air.
I'll take a little.
But I don't know.
He makes $500 for every shot.
That's right, he does. Yeah. You can get on Cameo, right? And you can get $500.
I mean, like, most expensive, I think, is like Caitlyn Jenner. He has 1,000.
Wow,
They have like a
$1,000.
couple other athletes, but the big one is Jenner.
Joe Thomas is on there.
Yeah, a couple others. I think I saw like Melvin Gordon and a couple others.
Maybe we should do that. Maybe you guys can force us to tell dick jokes for $10.
Nobody would pay for Ryan. Come on. No one would do it for free.
Right, I'm not that fucking important. Okay. So AB shows up in a hot air balloon, but who showed up in the Brinks truck?
Jalen Ramsey.
So Jalen Ramsey, the mouth of the NFL, shows up in a Brinks truck, and I don't know if that's like any cooler than a hot air balloon. How do you rate that?
Exactly.
On the scale of
It's
cool?
pretty much him like trying to cash checks that his ass can't cash.
He's good at that. He did that all last year and the year before that.
Oh yeah,
he
well,
really
more
cashed.
last year than anything, but
He really wrote a big one in the AFC Championship game. Good old Jalen Ramsey. So, and then somebody else showed up in a NASCAR stock vehicle.
Anthony Sherman.
Yeah, the Shermanator shows up. So we were talking about this earlier today. Like, it used to not be a big deal to show up to training camp, right? Like, you just show up and you just get tortured for a couple weeks before the NFL season
Exactly. We were
starts.
talking about this during lunch.
But now there's such an audience for people to show up and fucking. Actually, if there's a camera and you're an NFL player, it's like crack to a crackhead. You gotta get.
Everybody wants the
nice extended metaphor there, right? Yeah. But if there's a camera around, you're an NFL player, you're in front of it because you got to squeeze every bit of exposure out, right? Like, every time. Right. Just like a pervert in an alley, you got to get them when they walk by, So.
What's attention? I don't know what that is.
Right. And then, did anyone else show up? Okay.
I don't think, but we have a couple other things going on.
I don't know. How would you show up to training camp if it was you?
I don't know. I'd probably show up in the Oscar Mayer Wintermobile, and I would probably be eating a roast beef sandwich at the same time. Be like, oh yeah, I'm supposed to be here. Yeah.
I'd have to wait for the next.
Phil Kessel.
I'd have
Hot
to,
dogs wouldn't be bad.
I'd have to wait for the next collective bargaining agreement. I'd show up in the van from Up in Smoke, like just the green van, like, yeah, we're ready to play some football
Ready
and
for
smoke a lot of weed, which
You
is
better be
legal
in
here.
legal state. That's
That's
all.
right, yeah.
And just caught fire while he showed up.
Yeah, that's right. The tailpipe catches fire and they get all of America stoned. That's one of the greatest movies of all time. Cheech and Chong. So.
I have something. I'm guessing if Prince Sherman was in his prime, do you think he would just roll up by just on the red carpet, just dousing his fans with Skittles?
Oh yeah. That was what is that? Marshawn Lynch.
Marshawn Lynch?
Yes,
No,
that's right.
Sherman?
Beast mode.
Yeah, beast mode.
Hey, I make
Skittles.
rough.
If I had a candy associated with me, it would probably be like Reese's.
I'd probably say Three Musketeers.
Yeah.
You know, like Swiss chocolate, but fluffy chocolate interior with nougat.
Yes, that would be
I like that.
yummy.
I haven't
So-
seen one of those in years.
Those are good though. Milky Way's kind of the same. Milky Way is a little firmer
Yeah.
with the caramel.
Cadbury egg, you know what that is?
Yeah, Cadbury eggs are good shit. The chocolate cream filled.
Do you know what the Urban Dictionary for Cadbury egg is? I'm not gonna say it. Y'all can go fucking look that shit up.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
You know what a jelly donut is? Okay.
Damn, son.
All right. So Mike Tomlin gets extended coach of the Steelers. So what's the terms there?
I think it's only 1 year.
So only
he's
1
going to
year.
expire the same year as Roethlisberger does.
Is that a big kind of fuck you to Mike Tomlin?
It's
in the
pretty
fact
much a
that-
warning shot because
Yeah.
the Steelers don't fire coaches. At this point, it's like you're going to do something or you're gone.
But I think that it's sort of a favor to him, right? Again, if they have a bad year and they go 7-9 and they're not going to be good, if they're bad this year, they're not going to be good the next year after that. He could
That's
go
only gonna
someplace
be
like,
older, let's be
yeah,
real.
somebody will take a Mike Tomlin and overpay for him. They'll be like, oh, hey, we're the Arizona Cardinals. We got to pay Mike Tomlin 10 times what he's worth.
That don't give them ideas. They
Yeah.
would do that.
They would fire Kingsbury. They would fire Kingsbury right now and hire Mike Tomlin. They'd be like, "Fuck you, Kingsbury. Get your shit out of here. You couldn't win with Patrick Mahomes in college. Get the fuck out of here."
He won't win with Kyler Murray either, but
Yeah,
I'll probably shoot
okay,
for that
yeah.
one, so why not?
So I mean, I don't know. How do you feel as a salty Yinzer about Mike Tomlin's coaching?
To be fair, it was inevitable. Come on.
Yeah.
Like, everyone knew Tomlin was going to get extended. The Steelers don't fire coaches. They pick their choices in Ben and Tomlin when the Civil War was between him, and Le'Veon and AB.
Well, that brings up something interesting. Is like, who is the replacement for Mike Tomlin? You know, do you think that the Steelers
I
go
think
into
they
that
probably
carousel?
go for like the coordinator thing again. They usually go for an unproven coordinator and build them up.
Yeah, that's true. Could be. I don't know. They got really lucky, but maybe their philosophy of really vetting a coach and then just telling them, hey, it's your show. You're going to be here for the next 20 years. Maybe that worked. I mean, Mike Tomlin won 2 Super Bowls, so can't really put cast. You know,
I mean,
I'd say that's a success.
Yeah, when you win a Super Bowl like that, of course.
Yep. So some things happening now. You got Zeke Elliott holding out, and also Todd Gurley. Oh no,
Melvin
not
Gordon.
Todd Gurley.
Todd Gurley has the arthritis. He
Sorry,
got
Melvin Gordon is also holding out. Todd Gurley did get paid. I'm sorry about that. So that brings up the question. Yeah.
I'm gonna tisket you, man. You should know this.
Yeah, I know.
Come on.
I smoked a little earlier, so.
I mean, I'm a little buzzed, but who gives a shit, man?
Right.
I'm losing it. I gotta get the fuel.
We did also drink.
Smoke weed every day.
Smoke weed.
Well, I don't do that, but
Yeah. It's legal here. It's legal here. So is prostitution. You don't have to do that. Yeah. What? Did someone say that out loud?
What's prostitution?
So, I think it's.
I might be later. I don't know.
That's every dumpster fire.
Yeah, we're going to the re-education camps. Have a good night.
So I find it funny that Zeke's holding out. Like, I kind of understand the plight of a running back, right? Like, your body gets used up. Pretty
Melvin
much.
Gordon, I feel like, is a little different than Le'Veon, though.
Or you mean than Zeke? Well, Melvin Gordon, he's been hurt a couple. You know,
And he's only making $5.5 million per year. He's on the final year of a contract. The Chargers are notoriously cheap with their players. If you remember the Joey Bosa saga, he held out because the Chargers wouldn't pay him a signing bonus.
Yeah, and it kind of brings up the question, like, should running backs have a different pay scale than other players? I mean, they get abused pretty much the hardest of any NFL player. Would you say?
The issue is there's no market, but in Melvin Gordon's case, he should be getting paid more than what he is. It might be a couple mil, but he should be.
I would say most NFL players are underpaid for the amount of revenue that the
comparison
NFL
to the
generates.
NBA, of course.
Yeah, and the sacrifices they make with their bodies. Like, I know a bunch of ex-players. My friend that I used to work with, he has like more screws in his leg than a hardware store. Like, it's just completely, like, him walking hurts me. Like, he's just like, and it's not pretty what happens to an ex-football player's body.
Oh yeah, I mean, just look at Earl Campbell.
Yeah, or John Mackey too. Like
John Elway.
Yeah, John Elway. Well, his most of his shortcomings or troubles have to do with him drafting quarterbacks.
Well, he likes guys in the form of him. He likes them taller and white.
Yeah,
we know this.
How many years? 4 years in a row he's drafted a QB in the draft.
I have
Paxton
no idea.
Lynch. Who else was taken?
I couldn't tell you.
By John Elway. What's that? Drew Lock now? And he had the audacity to try to hold out.
Paxton Lynch.
Paxton Lynch. Timmy
Simeon, Tebow.
Simeon. Brock Osweiler.
Yep, Osweiler.
Yep.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Simeon was the only one that was under 6 feet.
Elway's, yeah. Hey, I if you're 6 feet tall and you are handsome, you can play for the Broncos.
Just tall.
Yep. What else do we got here?
Yeah, we got Bobby Wagner.
Oh, Bobby Wagner got extended. He's on Seattle, right?
Yeah, Seattle linebacker. You know, the guy at the Chicago against the Bears, I think it was. Oh, Vikings. You know, he just jumped up about. Everyone called it illegal and just like smacked the ball out of the air and field goal.
Yeah, that's right. Bobby Wagner. He was part. I don't know. You consider him the Legion of Boom, or he was just part of that?
He was more. Legion of Boom was technically more secondary. But like, I mean, he's still kind of part of it.
That just reminds me, like, the Legion of Boom was the shit for 2 years, and just the impermanence of the NFL. Like, at one point you're on top, and you're just kicking everybody's ass. It's almost like the NBA now, but not as bad. Like, you can keep together a core of a team, but the NBA this summer was absolutely insane. I've never
bloodbath.
seen. Yeah,
It was beautiful. I mean, ugly and beautiful in the same time.
It's an unfucking.
yeah. The NBA is unfucked now, as Tree would
We should
say.
have our annual laughing at the
Applause
next.
for that?
Yeah, I'm
Thank you,
What's
Toronto.
that?
A round of applause for
No longer fucked.
The league.
for now.
For now. I mean, give it a couple of years, he'll probably be fucked again, but
That's right.
probably
And-
the team Giannis goes to. But at this point, Robin Kimdiche got cut.
Yeah.
Showing up out of shape. And he's been injured for like 3 years.
Yeah, I mean, if your job is to be in the NFL and play football, don't you think you should show up like in shape? Unless he really just wanted to get cut so that
He
could
had
become
gotten
a free
injured
agent.
last
Oh,
year. I think he
yeah.
had like ACL surgery.
Oh, yeah, that sucks. I have a torn ACL, so I know what the trials and tribulation is with that. Like it doesn't hurt, but it definitely will hamper your ability to play sports, because if you try to plant or anything like that, and your knee can explode, and it's not the ligament that hurts, it's the muscles around it that hurt. So it's painful, but it doesn't cause you to sit around and eat Cheetos, you know.
Nothing wrong with that though. He gets a little 420 in him.
Yeah. So that's kind of all the news items we have for the NFL so far. Do y'all have any questions about or anything that y'all want to talk about with the NFL right now? Or yes.
So, brother.
So, as a representative of the New Jersey Butt Fumble Society, I would like your opinion on the retirement of Mark Sanchez.
Oh my
Was
God.
it too early? Do you think he had more time to be the butt of many more a joke?
Oh wow.
I
That's a
think
great
the
question.
Redskins against the Giants was a great finale for him. First pass, throws a pick six, right from the 5-yard line. The man was a legend in ways that we cannot comprehend. He had such promise, and then, boom, right into the center's butt, and that's all he's going to be known for. It's like Bill Buckner with the ball. Doesn't matter what he did. He's going to
Yeah.
be remembered for that.
I think he
Jim
was.
Marshall.
I think so much pressure was put on him to be the, he was Sanchez was his name.
Yeah.
And, he was drafted based on him making a lot of throws without any pads on. That famous video of him in the before the draft where he's got his shirt off, and he's just chucking balls. Like, yeah, everyone looks good with no pads on. And then he got to the NFL, and yeah, they experienced a lot of success, but they also had a fucking killer defense. Bart Scott led the charge there, and they succeeded despite Mark Sanchez. And then when it came down to him being a real quarterback, it just wasn't there. So I think it's time. I think he's, for me personally, the greatest QB ever, but for all the memes that he spawned with his face going right into his own lineman's ass.
He created a new legend for the Jets.
So good.
Because it symbolized them so well.
Right. How many times have you watched that clip as a shit poster and you just see it and it's so unfathomable that
I still chuckle every time I see it.
I wish we could put it up here and we could just all sit here and watch it again for 5 minutes on loop.
Can we plug into that?
Yeah, they
don't have Wi-Fi.
Yeah, they don't have Wi-Fi here.
No, I mean like a physical plug. There's an HDMI cord.
We don't have the clip saved.
Yeah, I don't have the clip saved.
But it's still amazing to this day of him just losing his way and just finding a big ass right out there on the field. But I think it was proven that when he went anywhere else, he couldn't really succeed the way that he should have. But it also tells you that the Skins sucked ass last year and signed him. Yes.
Two questions. One, do you think the NFL will ever expand to add a new team? And if it isn't San Antonio, as you saw from Take Two.
Yes. Go on, brother.
Not the company. Do you think the NFL will actually expand again? If it can't be San Antonio, as we saw from the AAF, which city do you think it will be?
If they're going to expand, I think they will, but it will be a little bit before they do.
I think the league is perfect right now, but the way that you can see clearly the economics are going, they're talking about an 18-game schedule. They're so fucking greedy that
they'll probably go 36.
Yeah, it could be 36. I actually might do a video on if the NFL could sustain 40 franchises and how that would look. Ultimately, you could have 10 divisions of 4 teams.
You could
and
do
just
3
have,
of 6.
Yeah, and just have a massive clusterfuck of teams.
And then expand the playoffs. You can do, instead of 6, a wild card 6, you can do 8.
Right. Yeah, if you look at the pure economics of it, if a city like Charlotte can support an NFL team, then if you look at other, there's other cities that have that population size that, of course, they would go to the NFL games. I mean, the NFL is a revenue-producing machine.
San Antonio would be a big guess.
Yeah, San Antonio.
I would say San Diego might get another team.
Right. You look at these.
They get a new stadium.
Right. You look at these.
St. Louis.
Yeah, St. Louis would get one again. If you look at these college towns that support these huge, college programs, and with Clemson. The town of Clemson has less people population-wise than the stadium holds. So it's very possible that we could see 40 teams in the NFL.
And my other question is, will you ever do a week, this week in sports ball on the CFL? Considering that
CFL?
Yeah.
As I said, I feel like it's one of those things I might need to outsource because I just don't know enough about it. That's the problem.
You could have done a one-off game.
How many fans are from Canada in here?
I actually worked for them, for the Tigers. That was one of their mascots, actually.
Oh, wow.
Whoa!
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, although I don't get to watch the game, I still get to enjoy the fact of such unruly fans.
So one thing that, when I was researching my video on the Canadian football rules, Canada has one of the most interesting rule sets in the fact that it has a very semi-racist rule in the fact that I think 75% of the roster has to be Canadian.
Yes.
So
it's one of those Canadian things.
That's not really racism, but they want to have Canadian players as part of it's the CFL, not the failed American players in Canada
They expanded
league.
They actually had American teams in the CFL for a few years.
They did. Baltimore expanded, and they actually did what the Vegas Golden Knights couldn't do. They won the Grey Cup in their first year, I believe. Second year, yeah.
But they got there in the first year. They just lost.
Yeah, they got to the Cup game, and then they lost. But the second year they won it. And then where else did they play in the CFL?
San Antonio, Las Vegas, Sacramento, Memphis, and Birmingham.
Right, wow. Good pull right there. Solid. But
nice.
I would say if the CFL didn't expand to Baltimore, the Ravens wouldn't be in Baltimore. Like, that really proved to the city that they could support, like they could have. Well, it also put a lot of pressure on the politicians to get a stadium built. So that was actually very beneficial to the city of Baltimore for having a CFL team. But it didn't work for San Antonio.
I think that's going to be even something that the people would like, since it's a Canadian Football League, and then you're adding an American team in there, so it's not.
Well, yeah, I mean, clearly it didn't. It wasn't a sustainable thing, but it was a nice, aggressive move.
It would
by
be
the
a
CFL.
culture shock. That's the only
Considering
thing.
what?
It's definitely a different product. I find the CFL to be like really interesting as a sport.
I mean, if technically the AF could pull in a few locations.
And I don't know if you know about the history of American football. If it wasn't for Canada, American football wouldn't exist. So the first American football games were, it was actually guys kicking a soccer ball down the field like as far as they could into a goal area. And then they arranged a game with, I believe it was McGill University. And then McGill was like, what's that shit that you're playing? This is stupid. Like, this is how we play football. And they showed them like how to, like, it was more like a rugby version, and then that's how American football was like, all right, let's take that back, you know, and okay. So, but thank you, nice tangent. Any more football questions, football related? Yes?
What's up, Tex?
Got one.
Texas A&M's gonna suck this year.
Whoa.
That's your question. Put it back.
Shit. How about this? If you have a question, just come up here and ask.
So is this live stream to YouTube? If so, then
So
We're going to be doing live
yeah,
to
we'll
tape.
probably edit it. We're filming it right now, and then we'll edit it. And then,
Yeah. Unfortunately, we can't get Wi-Fi in here, so we can't live stream it like right here.
Sorry
Make sure
about
those
It's all right, man.
eardrums don't.
It's not your fault.
I can't actually hear anything anymore. So, the NFC East, total clusterfuck this year. Who you got winning it?
all right, so the Giants have started camp very well.
Oh, hey, it's been wonderful. Look how many wide receivers you got, dude.
So, if you don't know, I'm a Giants fan. Sterling Shepard breaks his thumb just walking in the building somehow. I think he got his thumb caught in the door. And Corey Coleman, who a lot of people told me that it was Gary Coleman, tore his ACL. I was like, wait a minute, Gary Coleman? What you talking about, Willis? Gary Coleman's hurt? Shit, when did we sign him from the grave?
There's a Gary Coleman and the other Coleman.
I didn't know.
I did-
Oh, Corey Coleman. Why do you make me second string coach?
Corey Coleman. And then, Golden Tate, the guy that you basically got rid of Odell Beckham for. It's like, oh, don't worry. Gettleman's like, don't worry, we got Golden Tate, everyone. Don't panic. We got rid of the best wide receiver in all of the NFL, but Golden Tate's here. And I guess he felt like he had to keep up with that pressure, and he popped some steroids in his ass. And now he's got a 4-game PED suspension, which he's appealing. So it's not a good start for the Giants. It's really tough to pick who's going to win the NFC East for me right now, but I would have to say it'll probably be someone that you don't expect, like the Redskins, because last year they were very good until they got hurt. They should have won the division, and then they just broke down, like an old running back.
It'll probably be the Cowboys because God hates us all.
Wow, you both picked 2 wrong answers.
Yeah.
Hey, maybe I meant to ditch them.
All right.
That's all I'm gonna say.
I will say this: a lot of people are saying the Eagles, but like my own personal bias doesn't allow me to say the Eagles. I'm just, I'm salty and bitter that they had to go out and win a Super Bowl. Big Dick Nick.
Should you just call him
Big
Golden
Dick
Tate?
Nick. What's
Golden taint.
that? Golden Taint. Yeah.
That wouldn't be a bad
That
name.
sounds like a male stripper's name. Like, hi, I'm Golden Taint.
Coming
Look at
down
it.
the aisle
Yeah.
for the dumpster fire, Golden Tate!
All right. So if we don't have any, haha, Clinton Dix, my favorite name of all time, or that and Wang Licken.
Jake
the,
Butt.
the Chinese ping pong player Wang Licken. Or Destiny Hooker? No. She, no.
Was that rejected Destiny's Child member?
No.
No.
All right. Yeah. So we don't have any more football-related questions.
I
We
do.
can. Oh,
What
it's
do you
over.
think do you think Johnny Manziel will ever play for a football team again?
Maybe for like an independent team.
XFL.
Yeah, could be.
I
I mean,
don't
it'll
think
be
so.
like a smaller league. It won't be like a major league.
Yeah,
So-
because they were. Oh, Hamilton's all big excited. Oh, Johnny Manziel's coming to Hamilton. Woo!
And then
He was terrible.
And then we were like, oh, I can't wait to see him play. And then they immediately trade him. And
Yeah.
they're like,
Montreal.
why? Yeah, why? And then they
That's
do
the-
smart
Montreal
thing.
wasn't even that good
Yeah.
in Montreal.
And
Right,
the
and then he gets banned from
Yeah.
the league immediately. And they never
They
said
signed him
why.
to the XFL. He played like a week for the Memphis Express, and
That's
then
right.
they folded.
And then they folded.
And he was the most
It was-
mature
it was-
guy because he knew like everyone was fucked.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Jackets did a good thing where they knew that people would buy the jerseys. That after the trade, they said that anyone who bought a Mandel jersey, trade it in, and you get $100 worth of.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. We got the backup.
We
Okay.
got backup.
Oh,
We can change. We can
I
do
got
like
you covered,
microphones
too.
and shit.
It's not a.
Brilliant.
It's not
Yeah.
dumpster fire stream. It's not something going wrong.
Yes,
Yep.
the
That's
dumpster,
why
it's
we
not
call
a
it
real
dumpster
dumpster fire until
The only
there's
thing
fire
that
in
would
the
happen is
dumpster.
if somehow this computer sets on fire, or the
Or you
microphone,
have to-
or
You
you know,
smoke it, now it's going to
or
happen.
maybe this Diet Pepsi can become sentient and just start smacking us in the face. Because that is how this stream goes.
Well, me being a Giants fan, that's
I
probably
think we
what's
need to
gonna happen.
deposit some money into this little swear jar here.
Yep.
Yeah, there we
Hey, at
go.
least it's
Good job.
Right.
Maybe it will save us.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're looking at baseball right now. It is in the middle of baseball season. It's basically the Dodgers' season to lose.
Eat salad.
And yeah, the Giants coming out of nowhere. So San Francisco is playing some good baseball right now. They were looking like probably one of the biggest sellers.
They were looking.
Yeah, they were looking dead. And now probably the worst thing that can happen to them is they might have Pittsburgh from last year's syndrome, where they started winning games at the
And
deadline,
They pretend they're relevant.
and
They buy the
then
deadline in come August.
Yep, and then they go right back in the shitter. That's what
Well, I
happened.
mean, they're
Labor
losing to
Day's
San
coming
Diego
back.
3-0 right now, but it's San Diego, so
Right.
they'll probably pull something out of their ass.
And then what is even worse than that is, then Mad Bum can't be really moved.
Well,
after-
you're not going to move
yeah.
Mad Bum. You have a plethora of relievers that can get a premium demand on the market. You have Will Smith, Tony Watson. You might get somebody to bite for Melanson's awful contract.
Melanson.
But, I mean, otherwise, just, I don't know.
You're fucked.
Yeah,
Yeah.
kinda.
I don't know. They
got the
gotta
Panda.
win.
They got the
okay.
Panda.
What are the standings right now?
Well,
what
right
are they
now,
looking at?
Well, we're looking at right now, if you're looking at the NL, like it's pretty much a cluster right now. Atlanta's still leading. Washington's back 6 games. Philly 6.5 in that division. Central's still a cluster. St. Louis is leading the division now. Chicago's a game back. Milwaukee's 2 games back.
Wait a minute. How is Chicago not in first place?
Because
in the NL
they're an
Central?
underachieving sack of shit team.
Oh,
Everyone
wow.
pretends that they're good.
Those are
I
fighting
remember when
words.
they swept the Pirates, it's like, oh, the Cubs are good again. Everything's great. It's wonderful. You played the Pirates. They were getting lucky for about a month.
Hold on, let me go out there and fish Schwarber's home run out of the Allegheny.
Oh,
Oh, maybe next time I'll bring in Tony Walters and he'll hit some bullshit single in the 15th inning. Good job.
Hey, you
Golly,
Chris,
the
just say
salt,
Chris
the
Archer throw a
salt.
ball. I'm going to give you 4 words. Doesn't matter, got ring.
Oh, hey, I got one for you. Doesn't matter, Pedro Strop.
Wow.
Yeah, he don't matter.
You sound more upset than Chris Archer giving up a home run.
No, that Chris Archer does the
Uh-huh.
moonwalk and
To
then
the
gets
red.
pissed off by somebody looking at the home run.
That's right.
And then he beans him.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
Chris
on the
Archer. What a great acquisition that was.
Oh, that was beautiful. Exactly. That's the kind of stuff the Giants should worry about.
I am shocked at the Cubs not being in first place for the spend that they're laying out. They're spending more money than
They have a
most
$200 million
than
payroll.
most Central American countries' entire GDPs to not be in first place.
Because that is what the Cubs do. Yes.
I thought that's what the Dodgers do.
Oh, but the Dodgers are winning.
Yeah,
they're
the Dodgers
they're
are
doing
literally
well.
dominating. Like the second place team are the Giants, and they are 15 games back.
Yeah, and if we're gonna keep talking about baseball, you got the Pirates and the Rangers are just absolutely shitting the bed right now.
Collapse.
Yes.
The Rangers are straight up collapsed.
So-
They're around 500 again.
So Ben, if you want to,
And that's perfect because this is the kind of music that would fit for, well, the Pirates and the Rangers.
it's a precipitous decline right now. Yes, and if you just want to trigger Tree, just mention the standings. You know,
No, if you want
Not
to trigger
bad.
me, all you gotta do is mention Brandon Pennant.
Yeah.
We're fine.
Okay.
Thanks for coming, y'all.
You're
Appreciate it.
you're welcome.
Thanks
Love
for checking
Winnipeg.
us
What's
out.
up, guys?
Yeah, they made it 30 minutes.
I know, I'm
Woo! Half an hour. All right.
Oh, masochist.
Yes.
I am completely shocked that people are still sitting.
I'm loving that
being held
everyone.
against my will. Help.
Yes,
Pretty much.
right.
I mean, there are a couple people probably sitting against their will.
I'm surprised someone didn't come in here thinking it was an actual dumpster fire. They're like, shit, we came in here to stay warm. Like,
No, it's a dumpster
We're here to
fire.
burn
It's
some-
already outside.
Hold on, we need to let dead air have a few seconds.
Okay.
They misspelled it.
It's the Pittsburgh mustard against the Cincinnati ketchup. Who will win?
Answer is the Cleveland.
Mustard.
Take two. Cleveland Steamers?
It's the Milwaukee sausage.
Milwaukee sausage. Yes. All
Winner
right.
takes the wiener.
Oh wait, there's the Volcanerico bobblehead coming in to bash people over the head with a homer.
Yeah.
All right, we got some juicy topics though to talk about the MLB, which is the trade deadline coming up. Which everyone, the only thing I hear really is Marcus Stroman. Like
Stroman's
everyone's
the
like,
big one. He's going to be insanely overpaid because he is the best pitcher on the market, and this is how this goes.
so get this bullshit. The Mets are talking getting rid of Syndergaard to get Stroman ultimately, which is like such a Met thing to do, right? Like, why would you get rid of one of the best fastballs in the league, Thor himself, to ultimately land Stroman?
But he has mound presence.
I know, but it makes me as a Met
That's what happens
fan.
when you have a player agent now.
This season has already been rough enough, but it makes me want to put my dick in a sliding glass door and just shut that
That's
shit.
being a Mets fan
Like,
in general, though.
It's hard being a Met fan. It's hard.
I mean, you acquired him from the Blue Jays. You're just giving them back now.
Yeah. I mean, they got Syndergaard in the biggest steal ever, and they just want to give him back. Like, it makes no sense.
No, we're too good. Here, give it back.
No, they're not going to give it back. They'll be like Milwaukee will probably be really desperate and get somebody, and they'll probably get like Keston Hera, and then Keston Hera will be traded for a middling reliever in the 8th inning.
I could see the Nats making some moves. They
need bullpen now.
Yeah,
they have
they
Fernando
could-
Rodney in 2019.
Who do they have for prospects though? Who did the Nats like
Carter
get rid of?
Keyboom. They have a couple pitchers still. trying to think who else really, but I mean, most of them they traded already.
Yeah, that's true. They mortgaged their future a couple of years ago. They didn't get any compensatories for Bryce Harper.
They may get it. They got it this year.
They might be able to leverage those. You know.
I already picked them.
Who knows? But I could see them adding bullpen help. I could see the Cubs adding a lot of pieces. You know.
Well, I mean, they need to. I mean,
they need to, but they won't.
Because luxury tax.
Yeah.
It's not just luxury tax. It's the fact that everybody's going to be, they know the Cubs are fucked in the bullpen. They're going to overcharge.
They're gonna be out of contract.
Right. That's true. There's a lot of leverage. Yeah. You could maybe see a team like the Reds or something in the NL Central making some moves and just trying to get like real ballsy.
I hope not.
I think the Reds.
I really hope not.
Yeah, are you a Reds fan?
Unfortunately,
but that was like
I'm not a fan of trading. I've heard Blackman, I've heard Diaz. I'm just like
Charlie Blackman.
Yeah, Charlie Blackman. But I'm like, what do we do with Puig? Do we just chuck him in the river? Where is he going?
Yeah,
are we sending him to Colorado with prospects? What are we doing?
We're probably gonna send some pitchers to die. That's probably what's gonna happen.
What pitchers are our number one pitcher in the
how's
system
how's Puig doing this year? Like I don't pay
he was
attention.
bad for about April and the first 2 weeks of May, and now he's been on fire.
Yeah,
since.
he's been doing all right since. Like, I mean, if they were to trade him, they'd probably get like maybe like a guy in high A.
That guy should bat like 325, 30 home runs. Like he's just based on looks. Like he's like the modern day Raul Mondesi. Like he just looks amazing. So like you just figure that he should do amazing. You know?
When he bashes gongs, it's like, oh yeah, that's why that guy's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still think it's more when he runs into the wall in right field trying to chase down a fly ball.
Yeah,
Brains into the wall.
He is kind of suspect on the defensive ability right there. And then, so there was a trade so far. Sergio Romo to the Twins. I think we talked about that. Oh, you got here. Felipe Vasquez could be traded. Ken Giles has been talked about.
Giles.
Also, the Mets activated Zach Wheeler, like probably way too early to cart him out there.
Because
so that
they
he could,
want to trade him.
Yes. Yeah.
And if they
that's
can
the
get a
only reason.
middling prospect for his rotting corpse.
Right. They're probably like, hey, pitch 1 inning, and then we'll prove to everyone that you're healthy, and then we'll ship you out like you want to be shipped. Because anytime you get removed from the Mets, that's like a good day.
That's it, so.
Yeah. So we're getting through these topics pretty quickly.
I don't mind.
Go back to the outline real quick.
Pretty easy, man.
What else do we have? Any score updates tonight?
Yeah, we got a couple score updates here.
Is anybody going to the Jays game tomorrow? Anybody
Woo!
else? No?
I wish.
All right.
Too busy over here.
Yeah.
It's alright, brother. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah,
I'm glad you guys joined us.
Yeah, we're thrilled that you're here, but
This
we're
is
gonna
better
check
than the
out.
Jays.
All right, yeah.
And better than Brandon.
Hey.
The Jays are too good
We're
right
a
now.
low bar. Don't insult
Yeah,
the
don't
Jays
insult
like that.
don't insult the dumpster fire like that.
Oh, the dumpster fire is beautiful and burning.
No,
It's
I'm-
nice and warm.
I'm really looking forward to
Feel the
checking out
crackle.
Rogers tomorrow. It'll be the first time I've ever gone inside of it. I've seen the outside.
I've been
a
inside
couple
it
times.
10 years ago, but that was like, a Yankees-Jays game. It was just like, not really there to see it. It's
Yeah.
more like a journalistic thing.
That's a nice building.
Yeah,
It's
I
not
want to
bad.
check
It's
it out.
pretty
yeah.
versatile building.
You ever catch the dome opening? It's amazing.
Well, I think the forecast calls for a little rain, right? Sunday, so it might be closed roof.
I got an open roof for Miller Park. That's beautiful.
Nice.
Yeah, Wisconsin in summer can't be beat.
Yeah, it was cold when we were there, but like we got it on a good night.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Me and my girl.
Yeah.
You have a girl?
Yeah.
I
Can you believe it? Can you believe
I don't
it?
have a baby girl.
I'm married and I have 2 kids. I don't know how that happened either.
Yeah, it just happened. It was like the Monty
Uh-huh.
Python scene from
Right.
Meaning of Life. The baby just pops out.
That's right. It's like,
oh,
yeah,
get
yeah.
that, honey.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a kid now.
I still don't understand when my wife will get her blindness fixed.
Blindness.
But, yeah. I guess I was handsome when I had hair. And that was like a long
As I
time
said,
ago.
just wax it
Yeah.
now. Get that nice sheen going.
Get the sheen going.
Like if you're like a cavalry charge, all you got to do is build your head against the cavalry. Sun reflection will blind them, and then you can charge the spears into their horses. And boom, you've won the battle of Thermopylae.
You know what the funniest thing to me is whenever we go live on the dumpster fire and the first 15 to 20 comments is just bald, ugly.
I was expecting bold comments. I'm disappointed in all.
Yeah, so I'm disappointed. Right?
We try to be nice.
Yeah, I get it. It's a little different when I'm here. What's that?
Have you seen half the people in this con?
Yeah, that's true. It's like, hey, no, those that live in grass houses, right?
I have a question. Why hasn't Flemmo Raph made a theme song for the dumpster fire?
Oh, we should.
Flemmo's been on a couple.
Yeah, we should ask him if he could do a little rap for us. Maybe
Yeah,
like
bald, ugly,
yeah.
bald, ugly.
yeah, bald, ugly. But then, how do we incorporate trees? Salty, upset, Yinzer. Salty, fat fuck.
There you go.
Can we get a Captain Fat Fuck so that for the audience to get their first ever? Yeah.
Leader of
That's great.
It's weird hearing echoes of it now.
Yeah, usually you're in Yinzer basement.
Yeah, I'm usually I'm like, is this gonna do anything? I'm like, oh, it does.
So I gotta ask
won't
you.
shut up about it.
I gotta ask you, right? So as someone who not only runs the channel with you, but who's also a content creator, but as a consumer of content, you got anything good for sports ball this year? Got anything new that you're thinking about doing, or is
I feel like
is
it'll
it a
go with the
week
flow.
to week thing?
It's a
Like,
week to week.
Yeah, what
Because
do they-
if it happens, it'll happen, and it's one of those things where I didn't expect Days of Our Steelers to go that long. I didn't expect that Saxonville Abbey to happen.
Right. And by the way, go ahead. The voice
And
of
maybe it's gonna be
Saxonville
a
Abbey
series
right
that
here.
happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, that person happened. And
Saxonville Abbey is brought to you by
Alright, shitposters.
Shitposter. I think we should
Thank
start the
you.
ESPN, Electronic Shitposting Network.
Yeah.
And then we'll get sued into
ESPN.
fucking oblivion. Yeah. I think even if we did SPN, the Shitposting Network, we would get probably sued for
Dude,
that.
EA got pissed at in the 90s for EASN.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
Hi,
yeah,
I'm Ron Barr.
Electronic Arts Sports. Yes. Hi, I'm Ron
Also,
Barr.
surprise mechanics.
That's one of the best games ever.
Oh, well, by the way, the Cubs had a 3-2 lead in the 10th, and they already blew it. It's 3-3.
Shocker.
Christian Yelich.
Wow, Yelich
Craig
is
Kimbrell.
such a stud.
You're
Oh,
calling?
let me do some updates for scores. Toronto actually won today against Tampa Bay.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Ooh, we might be able to see it.
Huh?
Tampa blew a 9-2.
Oh yes, I got a lot of ads on Twitter about that today. Like, did you see the game? Like, that would have been great if we could have seen that.
Yeah,
we
we
would have
couldn't
laughed
see it,
so
Does anyone know
Hey.
CPR?
No,
At least you're in the
unfortunately,
first
Tampa
place
Bay
of
is
your
like.
favorite team.
Yes.
No, they're too busy prepping for Montreal poutine. So
Yeah, you gotta stretch the throat, stretch your stomach out, get ready
Dodgers
for
beat
that
Washington.
poutine.
Sorry, buddy. I mean, it's the Dodgers. Boston beat the Yankees. 5-5. Seattle
Did they? Is
did
that?
not punch their fans in the dick. They beat Detroit 8-1. But it's
Did
Detroit.
has Boston won 3 straight in New
I
York?
think so.
So they're starting to make moves,
Well,
right?
I mean, you knew they were going to come alive sooner.
They have to. I mean, they
With
are
that
the
payroll?
yeah.
Come on.
They're the fucking defending champs. You know, they should be
Arizona
playing
beat
good
Miami
baseball.
9-2. No surprises
Okay.
there. I mean,
Yeah.
Arizona. The White Sox actually won a game. I'm shocked.
Wow.
And all 5 of their fans
Who'd they
have
beat?
clapped in
Yes.
unison.
No, they woo in unison, and then they're gonna die because they're probably gonna bring up Otis Romer Despaigne again,
Who-
and he's gonna pitch again.
Who hates who more? Cubs fans hating White Sox fans or Cubs fans hating Cardinals fans?
Cardinals fans.
Cardinals
Everyone
fans.
hating.
I'd say White Sox hating Cubs
But then-
fans because
but
they
is
mentioned
the-
the Richard brother.
Is White Sox
Yeah.
like a close second of hate?
Not really. I mean,
It's more division, I feel like.
it's a crosstown thing. It's like a big brother, little brother.
Gotcha.
Big brother is the one with the money and lives on the north side.
Uh-huh.
Little brother is the one who works in a slaughterhouse and lives on the south side.
I gotcha.
Going for y'all. The Giants have been on fire recently. You think they're going to make the playoffs, or you think this is a fluke?
I don't think they're gonna make it, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Problem is there's too much competition.
I think they'll be out of it by mid-August.
I'll give it Labor Day.
Yeah.
Labor Day.
I think they're
Well, I mean, the Pirates are already out of it, so. And then they'll go on a random winning streak and finish up a couple games out of the playoffs. But because that's how the Pirates do things. They can't
how
even
they
lose
do.
properly.
Garbage time.
Oh yeah, hardcore. It's
Baseball.
like Colin Kaepernick, garbage time.
Oh.
Oh, speaking of Pirates, they lost to the Mets 3-0.
Yep. Yeah. My Mets.
Somebody
the
killed
team
me.
that's not
We
trying
lost
to
the
win.
series to the Mets, and we might be getting swept by the Mets.
Yeah, it's possible.
And the Pirates are now, I think, like 2-11 or 2-12 since the All-Star.
It is so frustrating
It's,
watching the Mets. Like, they're just so bad. And
Well,
but
the Pirates
then-
went insanely lucky throughout June. And I was seeing this, it's like, oh wow, they pulled out some more bullshit.
Yeah.
This isn't going to bite us in the future.
But the Mets, like, they'll go and they'll lose 3, 4, 5 in a row, and then you're like, all right, they suck. We suck again. And then they'll win 4 out of 5, and you're like, you start hoping again, and then they just let you down, like, you know.
Well, the
Every
Pirates, it's
time.
like you've come to custom to like, oh boy, here comes the false hope. Here comes the false
Yeah.
hope. We're gonna go over the cliff again. Here we go. Whee!
Yeah, and I can imagine being a Reds fan. They just disappoint
Hey,
you
at
to
least you
no
know
end.
what
Perpetually
Yes.
disappointing fans since
Although you did win
1990.
tonight.
Yep, yeah.
It's Colorado,
Okay,
but
so
you did
the Reds
win.
won.
Yeah.
I definitely.
I was
gonna say, like,
Cleveland beat Kansas City, so
Okay.
Cleveland gets another game. I remember people doubting me about Cleveland winning the division, but guess what? I think they're what, 1 or 2 games back now,
Yeah.
and they were like 11 back a month, like 6 weeks ago. I'm gonna
Do
say.
you think the Angels will waste Shohei Ohtani?
Ooh,
No, I don't
no,
think so.
no.
They have too much money invested in
He-
them. They'll never will.
The good thing about him is, like, he's valuable in so many ways.
They,
you know?
the Angels have had so many disastrous signings that there's no way they can lose like another Shohei Ohtani. Like the only good one they've had is Tommy La Stella. The thing like Cody Allen was DFA, Matt Harvey was DFA. He's a total wreck. I'm trying to think who else.
Yeah, he worked out well for the Reds, huh?
Yeah, they had deals in place to move him, and they just decided not to.
I'm trying to think
Yeah.
who else. There was like another pitcher. I think it was, I forget the name. I think it was an old Oakland pitcher. He's not doing well. He's getting lit up.
Josh Davis? No.
No, not
Oh.
Josh Davis.
Where's Sonny Gray? What happened to
With the
him?
Reds. He's doing
All-star.
well this year.
Oh, he was an all-star?
2019.
I wanted the Pirates to get him.
Yeah, he's the kind of
Pirates
guy.
do well with old Yankees.
Sonny Gray is one of those guys that cannot be in like a big market. He just has to fly under the radar and have no pressure on him, and then he'll do well. Like he does shit in New York. Like he just got
Because the
ate
Yankees
up.
do that to a lot of
Right.
teams.
Well, in New York, if you make one bad pitch and it ends up in the bleachers, like all you hear is "fuck you, you fucking suck."
Oh, and by the way,
I mean that's kind of our right. That's what we do, you know, as New York fans, is just insult you.
Yeah,
until you
in
get
typical
fucked.
Reds fashion, for the first time in 5 years, they have confidence starting pitching and relief pitching, and then it's
And they can't have
compliment-
hitting.
Right.
Joey Votto hitting 240.
Yeah,
Right,
That's the thing. I thought like their hitting would stay hot, and it's like nope.
No.
Yeah,
And they're in like a hot box of a park.
Yeah, the Turner Ward effect. You know, look at all the Dodgers hitters this year after he left. So
Yeah.
yeah.
The Reds are an enigma wrapped in a burrito. I tell you that they should be better than they are.
Exactly. If you look at their running differential, they should be better, but they're like a team that can't piece it together.
No.
Yeah.
Just
They had
can't.
a stretch. I want to say from the beginning of the season when they went 1-8 and had that fight in Pittsburgh. They went
that was
had a-
from Chris
Like that
Archer,
Yasiel
right?
Puig against the
Yeah,
world.
yeah. They
Uh-huh.
had a 2.5-month stretch where they didn't have a winning streak or a losing streak. I believe higher than 3.
Oh
if
my
that's
God.
any indication of how mediocre they were.
Yeah, that's the
Well, it's
definition
just better
of
than the
mediocre.
Pirates, you know, they
You
lose
wanna
8,
you wanna
9.
hit another song real quick?
Yeah.
How about
Dead air is
Marlins
in the
will soar?
background. What's that?
How about Marlins will soar?
Oh, the Marlins? You want to talk about? You want to bring up the Marlins
Yes,
now?
fuck Derek Jeter.
Well, I mean,
Fuck
that's
Derek
an
Jeter.
easy thing to say.
I've taken shits more interesting than the Marlins.
The
Okay?
Marlins are straight tanking right now.
Right.
That's all that matters.
Glorious.
They're irrelevant
Move
right
the
now.
fucking
They may be
team.
relevant in 3 years, but if that happens, everyone's going to be traded for more prospects
Right.
and some random
The
cash.
cycle of life continues, except it's just one-way. It's a one-way train to butt fucking.
And unfortunately,
hey, I've
they
been
won a
there
World
before.
Series or
I've
two.
been on a one-way train to butt fucking.
At least
Yeah.
the Mets are interesting when they
When
lose.
in Hamilton, right?
Oh, dude, the Mets are hilarious.
Let's see. So we got about 13 minutes left.
We have a couple of
Yeah.
scores.
This is-
St. Louis lost. Good.
Uh-huh.
8-2.
It's good for the
Atlanta's beating Philadelphia 15-7. Good job.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna mention a few things to trigger this later right here. Bryce Harper, Jake Arrieta, Hector Neris, and David Roberts. Good job having me
Now down and leave.
But San Diego's beating San Fran 3-1. Baltimore and LA are tied at 5. Although I think Baltimore's won the first 2 games of that series. Like a 15-game save there was a save by an outfielder.
That's right. Yeah, that's like one of the first times a position player has notched a save in like forever.
First time in history, I want
Really?
to say, or in the modern era.
Well, now the save rules are ridiculous. If you just pitch 3 innings, you get a save, no matter what the run differential was. You can't tell me that if you pitch 3 innings, you're a position player. That just cheapens the save rule, don't you think? Like it's just
maybe
stupid.
I don't know. I mean, as long as it's like a pitcher who pitches an inning or a guy who
Right.
pitches 3 innings in a blowout.
But also, how insulting is that you had the lead and you put a position player out there to pitch? You're just like, all right. Usually, it's the team that's losing getting their ass kicked. That's like, all right, we don't want to waste
Because
any
it's
innings.
the
They were-
Orioles, they're already
They're like,
tanking,
fuck
they
it.
want the number 1 overall
They're like,
pick.
fuck it. Let's put somebody out there
And
that
Oakland's
could
beating
possibly
Texas
lose
for
the game.
nothing. And by the way, the Cubs blew it again.
Oh,
Shots
okay.
5-3.
Was
Oh,
it a
your
walk-off hit?
boy Craig Kimbrell lost. It was Keston Harrell with a
Oh,
walk-off home run.
Wow, what a signing there, huh?
I'll continue to watch the Cubbies because I watched them through the shit years.
That's true. You are a diehard. Like
Frank
if,
Kimbrell.
if you still
I'm not
like
a
the
Johnny
Cubs-
come lately.
Right.
2 hits, 1 walk, 2 home runs given up.
Right.
Good
You
job,
can't be a Johnny come
And you
lately
paid him
Cubs
$15
fan.
million for 3 years. Round of applause for the UFC running into the same traps he ran into in Chicago.
Yep. Or Boston.
Sorry, I have to.
Go right ahead.
All right.
I don't
There's
care.
a Chile soccer team that I believe the logo is similar to the Steelers.
Oh,
I'm
nice.
trying to find it.
But there's the
Here it
University
is.
of
Here
Iowa.
it is. Here's the thing.
Oh, University of
That's-
Iowa's
that's
old-time
that's
Steeler
the thing.
colors.
Oh wow, they
Oh,
just
nice.
straight up copied it.
Yeah.
All right. The University of Iowa, I think the Hawkeyes, they use the
They
same.
have the color
Oh,
scheme.
Yeah, the color scheme. Yeah,
Black
black
and
and
gold.
gold. This is interesting. You gave us this helmet, or you gave
Yeah,
Tree this
yeah.
helmet. When I was a kid, I would always be like, "How come no little person? This like it's such a good helmet. It's such a waste that there's no tiny person."
Yeah,
in
you
it."
want to make his head.
I'm like, I need to go find a midget and put this helmet on him.
It'll go on my fist.
All right.
I can play like football and I'll be like, bam.
Perfect for punching the wall after a loss.
Yeah, maybe too. It's like, oh boy, we got screwed by the refs again. Jesse
Alright.
James.
This might be the wrong bunch to bring this up in, and forgive me if I do this, but I've had this money-making idea for a long time, and I want to share it with y'all tonight. And I don't know if I've brought it up on the actual dumpster fire before, but my concept is that we go out and we find 20 midgets, right? And they're all volunteers, and
Volunteer midget army.
and we outfit them in full NFL like shoulder pads, helmets, right? And then we put them on a little football field, maybe 30 yards long, right? And you take 11 of them, and you as a person gets to pay $50 to $100, depending on how many snaps you want, and you try to gain as many yards as you can against 11 midgets. So they get to tackle you and hit you as hard as they want, but you also get to truck the midget. You know, like you can like lower your shoulders and just like bam. You know, like or conversely, you could pay to be the tackler, like the midget running towards you, and you have to tackle the midget, which I think we definitely have to pay more hazard pay for
That
the
would
little,
be
for the
you
little
need to get
fellow,
insurance
right?
for all
Right,
that.
right.
Yeah, that's hitting a
we're
small
running out of
percent
time. All right, we're getting the candle lit on this.
Yeah, I think it's time to get the hell out.
Well, I'm talking about midget, the NFL, the midget football league. So I'm just saying, it's all voluntary. We're consensual adults here, and if they want to get paid, you know,
We gotta
like,
sign insurance waivers.
yeah, I'm just
Better
saying.
than the excess,
We're established in Canada.
Right. And then we could take it to hockey, you know, there could be little people playing hockey, and then I just think it would be cute to see people on skates, you know, just so. That's my money-making idea now that you know that these are the thoughts that I think about when I'm taking, you know, large dumps. So.
Large dumps.
Sounds like you. But guys, I know we have a few minutes left. Anyone have any other questions for us?
Yeah.
Oh wait, I'm trying to think of. Do you think Montreal would try to get Alexis Lafreniere?
Lafreniere?
Yeah, Lafreniere. He's supposed to be the next one.
Oh, is
Better
he
than,
is he the Jack Hughes in next year's
he's supposed to be
draft?
better than Crosby, but not but a Diet McDavid.
So you're saying Montreal should tank next year?
Well, meaning it's
They're not going to tank.
next
That's the
year,
problem.
next
They're not
year's
going to
draft
tank,
is
and
in
Bergevin
Montreal.
isn't smart enough.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's also they have a young core and they have Carey Price locked up for that much money. They're not gonna-
10.5.
So is Lafreniere, is he French Canadian? Is
Yeah,
he
he
from?
played- he
Yeah,
played,
so-
They're not going to waste Carey Price's career like the Rangers have wasted King Henrik's career.
They will waste Carey Price's career. It's
They
already
already
been
are,
wasted.
though. They've already
He's
started
he's
to
dried up like an avocado.
They
in
don't
the
want
sun.
to, but
Yeah.
they will.
Yeah, he's done.
It's up for it. Seattle hockey team. Best name.
I wanted to be Seattle Reign, like Reign as in like a king reigning over.
R-E-I-G-N.
Yeah, but I
That
think the
exists
women's
already.
soccer team is already
Ontario
taken.
Reign.
I think it would be perfect, by the way, because it does rain a lot. In
I would
Seattle.
go with the Metros or the Totems.
I go with the Seattle Salty Yinzers.
Seattle
Salty
Salty
Yinzers?
Seattle bandwagon. Yeah, that's the
It's
name of
called
their football
Rain
fan.
City Bitch Pigeons.
Right.
That wouldn't be bad either.
Rain City
Also,
bitch
make sure to
pigeons.
put more money in the swear jar.
So,
Yes. Oh.
now that most of the NBA's free agency and trades have kind of gone through, there might be a few minor ones, but most of the major ones are gone. Who's your favorite?
Oh,
Ooh, that's a good one.
that was a good one.
I like the Knicks getting Julius Randle. That was my favorite.
And he's gone.
Everybody laughing at the Knicks.
Sell the team, Dolan.
Actually, here's my assessment of the Knicks. Here's a more appropriate one. That's what it's like to be a Knicks fan these days. Oh, hey. I didn't have to do it.
Bonus round, yes.
Do you think people are going to be regretting not drafting Kaliev like people are regretting not drafting Delano?
Well, let's answer this question first, though. What was your favorite NBA?
I liked what New Orleans did to trade off Anthony Davis. I like what they did.
Yeah.
Get the futures, have a nice score for the future. I mean, if you could build like a Brandon Ingram as a wingman for Zion, Zion's what he is.
So, to me, I know that I have thrown Philly under the bus for the process, like relentlessly, because
We all have.
the Sixers and it's Philly. But I actually like what the Thunder have done. They clearly weren't going to win a title. Damon Lillard just ruined their entire franchise with that one shot.
No, that was blowing 3-1. That's what blew the over.
Well, that too. But now they've reset. They've acquired a ton of picks. They're going to move Chris Paul, and they're going to be good in 4 years again. So I like what people are giving Sam Presti shit. I think he's done.
I don't think he's done shit. I think he did a good job. He got great value for Paul George.
But it's going to be painful. They're going to get bent over like a middle-aged man visiting his urologist.
That'll be just like they.
urologist named Golden Taint.
Golden Taint, everyone. With that being said, we can now wrap up the show. All right. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming. Thank you for giving us our gifts. We appreciate it. And thanks for the LCBO gift card, by the way. What's your name again?
Jeremy.
Jeremy, thank you so much. We already drank that, I think.
You drank a gift card?
Thanks to everyone. If you want to take pictures with us or anything like that before you leave, we're here for you. But we appreciate everyone coming out. And this was way more people than we thought, especially at Conbravo. And if anyone has a relative that's a midget, I didn't mean it. It's all
You did.
Yeah, I did. But it's all for comic effect. Thank you. All right. Thanks, everybody.
Good show, everybody.
Oh, by the way, I have a promise I need to keep to you from about a year ago.
That was not mine.
I will bring you down.